Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Dr. Rajiv Nigam, Member Secretary, Dr. Ravindra Singh, and all the respected members in the audience. Today is the third lecture in our series on Maritime Heritage of India, Revelations from Marine Archaeology by Dr. Rajiv Nigam. Welcome, sir. Very warm welcome to you. In his presentation, he will discuss if sea level fluctuations explain the existence of the world's oldest dockyard at Lothal. Is there any scientific evidence for the submergence of Krishna's legendary city of Dwarika? How does evidence indicate that world's oldest tsunami protection measures were adopted at Dholavira? Whether there is a possibility of a 9,500 years old submerged city at 30-40 meter water depth off Surat. Many such interesting discoveries and more will be discussed by Dr. Rajiv Nigam today. He is a former chief scientist and head of marine geology and archaeology at the National Institute of Oceanography, NIO, Goa. He has significantly advanced the field of marine archaeology in India, and his pioneering research has unveiled how ancient Indian civilizations adapted to and were influenced by sea level changes. Without much ado, now I invite Dr. Nigam to please start with his presentation, and may I request everyone to put their phones on the silent. Sir.
Okay, if I can move over. The Member Secretary Ravindra and my most respected teacher, Dr. Banerjee Saab, Manisha ji, my very old friend and the sole representative from NIO, Dr. Kavita Singh, and respected audience. I was hearing the name Intech for a long time, but I never thought that one day I will be invited by them to deliver a lecture. It's a great honor, and I must thank all of you for that. Friends, the man is always very curious to know its future and is always fascinated with its past. We all want to know how our ancestors lived, where do they live, how they made their houses, how they have a sea trade, and so on. More loudly? Okay. Otherwise I can use full throat from here. Caller mic is there. Caller mic is more comfortable. No, this is okay. See, in India or in the subcontinent, the interest or the formal archaeology, it all started with the discovery of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa something around 1920. And after the partition, both the classical sites have gone to Pakistan, and there were a lot of efforts by the Indian archaeologists to have the equivalent sites within India. One such effort was at Lothal. I will cover the Lothal little later. But if you see in the last few decades, the interest in knowing the past, or particularly the archaeology, has increased manyfold. I would like to reconnect it with the concept of COVID, because then the rebroadcast of Ramayana and Mahabharata started. There was full generation which actually born when originally these epics were broadcasted. So youngsters started asking a lot of questions, taking a lot of interest, whether they are real or it's sheer mythology. People started asking question, is there any scientific evidence? Okay. Is there any scientific evidence to prove that definitely these are the history, not the mythology? interest became many-fold. Recently, when our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has gone, took a dive and gone into the sea and worshipped the Dwarika. And it was actually like, ringing bell in our ears when we heard this news, because at the National Institute of Oceanography, Goa, we are crying for last more than 20 years. We got Dwarika, but some believe, some didn't believe. So, but once the Prime Minister has gone into the sea and said and has seen by his own eyes, and it came on national media, now everybody is interested, and a lot of demands that Dwarka should be revisited, more research is required. Sometime back, same thing was happening with Ram Setu. So today I will take you a journey which says that what are the scientific evidences of the so-called archaeology and the marine archaeology. The marine archaeology started in India by late Dr. S.R. Rao. Dr. S.R. Rao was a superintending archaeologist in the Archaeological Survey of India. And after his retirement, he came to NIO. There was a reason why he chose NIO. I will explain little later. And he expressed a desire, and thanks to the scientific leadership of NIO that time, Dr. Qasim, Dr. Siddiqui, who accepted a retired person from another organization to work, allowed to work in NIO. And I still remember there was a small meeting was called, and the geologist, I am not an archaeologist, I am a geologist, marine geologist. So we all were asked to cooperate with him, see that what he wants, and see what the help you can do. So here is the Dr. S.R. Rao. This is our team, and this is our ship which we take for doing the research. In marine archaeology, there are two main branches. One is the shipwrecks. Lot of ships which got submerged became a part of the history, and there are many people who are going for the treasure hunt into the shipwrecks, but that is not the talk of today. Today I will discuss the other thing, is the ancient coastal cities which became the property of marine archaeologists or marine geologists as well. Here is the history of marine archaeology actually started with the discovery of Lothal. In 1954, Dr. S.R. Rao excavated Lothal. It is about a few kilometers from Ahmedabad, 12 kilometers away from the sea, few meters above the present sea level. And when he excavated, he found an ancient city which was, you can say, the equivalent to the Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. And it was a very sensational discovery of 1954. It came all the newspapers, and school children and other things were organized to see the Lothal. So what actually we got in Lothal? See the well, the drainage system, the seals, the warehouse, and the twin burial at Lothal. This is something which history people and archaeology people can debate. Why there is a twin burial? Vaguely I remember in one of the archaeology conference they say whether Sati Pratha was age old from the Lothal. Anyway, no comment from my side. But I am interested only in this part. This is a tank-like body, a huge tank-like body, and we were interested. Dr. S.R. Rao was of the opinion that it is a dockyard. And he has an argument, I will show you the argument. And in the whether it is archaeology or whether it is the science, nothing goes without controversy. Soon after discovery, a big controversy started, whether it was a dockyard or whether it was a irrigation tank. This is the tank, you can see here, and this is a picture depiction that you can see a boat, and this is the way it was connected to the sea. How they were arguing? See, 40 years archaeologists kept arguing with each other. They during the excavation we got few stones like this. I think day before yesterday, that Sanjeev Sanyal has shown. I only introduced him to this stone. These stones are like this, you can see. This is the stone. So, a group which was led by Dr. Rao, supported by Martin Wheeler, he says that because we got an anchor stone, it means ship used to come and it was a dockyard. Same stone used by the other group, they say this is a counterweight to lift the water for irrigation. The stone is same, but see the argument. This is the simplest argument. There were many other arguments. You go to any library, you find papers after paper, books are there, monographs are there, conferences are there. I visited this site as a part of a conference visit at Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. And actually, in fact, they took me for a sightseeing. And when we have seen this structure, I overheard some people were talking, hey, it doesn't look like a dockyard. So the other man said, don't tell it, otherwise S.R. Rao will kill you. So by the time I was knowing S.R. Rao, so I just turned and I said, what is the problem? Then they explained to me that this is a problem. And I remember me and Sir Professor S.P. Bhatia, we both went down and we collected the samples and I brought to my lab. I thought, why it is so many, it is just matter of 1 or 2 days. So I gave those samples to my lab assistant. I said, देखो इसमें कुछ मिलता है क्या? And next day itself he said, sir, we are getting the foraminifera exclusively marine organism. Then I said, there may be a contamination in my lab because the entire lab we are working on these fossils. So we took a new set of everything so that there should not be any contamination. Again processed sample, we got a beautifully preserved sample which are exclusively marine organisms. So you can see here, we collected the samples from here and we got a exclusively. Now this marine fossils indicate it was filled with the saline water and nobody irrigated the land with the saline water. So this once for all settled, it was published into the paper in 1988, the first Indian International Conference on Marine Archaeology. This paper was published and it became a very darling paper of that time because it came in all newspapers, TV, radio, everywhere, because a 40-year-old controversy has been solved by a geologist. And now this became a basis for the world-class museum which is coming up at Lothal. I think tomorrow Professor Shinde will tell in detail. But of course it has solved the problem. It was filled with the marine water, but it has not solved. Have you seen any dock which is 12 kilometers away from the sea, few meters above the present sea level? People may ask how the ship used to go, whether they were climbing the staircase. No, it means it is possible only if sea level was higher and it was connected to the sea. It means the knowledge of sea is essential. How to get the knowledge of the sea? Where are the evidences whether sea level has fluctuated? Just now before the conference we were discussing. I remember when I was a school kid, there was a sentence, Samudra apni maryada kabhi nahi todta. I believed it till I became a geology student. Our Prime Minister also believed the same thing. When he took the Chinese Prime Minister to the Mahabalipuram, next morning he wrote a poem and he wrote, शक्ति का अपार भंडार समेटे असीमित ऊर्जा स्वयं में लपेटे फिर भी अपनी मर्यादाओं को बांधे तुम कभी न अपनी सीमाएं लांघे. ये सच नहीं. Sea has broken its limit repeatedly, and there are ample evidences. They are available in religious record, it is available in geological record, it is available in oceanographical record. I will just tell you quickly. All three major religions, whether it's Hindu Gita or Muslim Quran or Israeli Bible, the Noah's Ark story is everywhere. What is that story? Hazrat Ibrahim was building an ark in a desert area and he was ridiculed by the fellow scientists, fellow citizens. Look, this man, he is building a boat when there is no water. Probably he was a wise man. He knew that sea level is going to rise. As a student of geology, we all know where the mighty Himalayas, you can see there is no Himalaya. Where the highest mountain of world today, there was a time there was a sea called the Tethys Sea. See the magnitude of change. Where there was a sea, now stands the highest mountain. This is what the geology do. But what we are interested in last few thousand years, which is important for the archaeological purpose, as well as it is very useful for climate change program. Actually, this work was done as a part of the climate change program. See, this is the present sea level, and many times this was higher than today, and many times it was lower than today. But if you see here that people who have done for different areas, none of them are Indian. It means whatever has been done in Pacific or Atlantic or anywhere else, we cannot apply as such in our area because it has some amount of tectonics is possibility. So the sea level will be different from different area. We all have to do it. How we can do that one? These are some of the instruments. These are the GPR. This is our boat. This is magnetometer. This is receiver. These are the position fixing system. This is the side scan sonar, the fish. These are the pouring. So this is the way we do it in oceanography. I will just take few minutes to tell how to generate a sea level record, which are able to explain many of the archaeological findings. The sea level curve became like Aladdin's lamp, which solves most of the archaeological problems. But how to get the idea of whether sea level has really fluctuated in the past? See, how we collect samples in oceanography. Land, you can take your jeep and you can go to any remote area and collect samples. In oceanography, you need a ship. You see, if this is the land and this is the sea, sediment comes by river as well as the wind, and this comes to the ocean. In addition to that, lot of microfossils are living. Now, these sediments as well as these microfossils, after their death, their hard part, they come back to the ocean and they are deposited year by year, layer by layer. So they serve like a pages of the Earth's history. You can take your ship and you can take a core sample. If you have a indicator species which shows the depth, which shows the temperature, many of the parameters, and you can apply a C14 dating for the dating, and you can say when sea level was higher or lower, when monsoon was higher or lower, when tsunami came. Many factors you can do. And how to unfold this? We use the microfossils. These are called the foraminifera, the same thing what we got it in Lothal. They are available everywhere in the sea, up to the where calcium carbonate get dissolved. Till then they are extremely important. These are the benthic which will live at the water column. These are the planktonic which will live in the water column. Now Chinese, one lady is there, 80-year-old lady, Shui Zhang. She has developed a lot of commercial application of the ornamentation form in less than a millimeter size. They're beautifully ornamented. And based on that design, he has designed the lamps, jewelry, lollipop for the kids, and an entire park has been developed in the granite carving, which is inaugurated by the President of India. This is the only park based on foraminifera in China. In India, I don't know when it will be possible to have it, because they are very sensitive to the environmental changes. They have been applied anywhere: paleoclimate, sediment transport, this is the engineering application, petroleum, monsoon. This is the work which is very important. We can tell you when monsoon was higher, when monsoon was lower, and we predicted long back that we are going to have a good monsoon, and last 20 years has proved that our approach was correct. This was the work for which I got my first Young Scientist Award, the monsoon. Fisheries, how fisheries will be affected by global climate change. Commercial, I told you. Tsunami also you can get. Sea level changes today we are talking about, and sea level and monsoon, how they affect marine. Today's lecture, each topic is 1 hour lecture. They are also used in pollution monitoring. We are doing a lot of work and earning a lot of money. So let us see how foraminifera can be used in sea level changes. I think I was discussing with Shah Sahab. See what happens, sea always at its level. How many of you have seen the beaches? How beaches are formed? From where this huge sands comes? Any idea? See, the waves keep on hitting the coastal rocks. Okay, these rocks have been finally fragmented into a small size of quartz, and that is deposited somewhere which is formed the beach. So now here you can see this is the indicator that sea level was here, but today sea level is here. This is in Goa. Sometimes they create a cave, sea cave. If you go to Goa and go to Donapala, very famous hotel, the Sea Pebble, I think probably you may be having there. The bar is there, actually it's a sea cave. That indicates sea level was higher than today. When it was higher than today? Where these things are deposited. So you can do a C14 dating and you can get the idea, yes, as compared to today, sometimes sea level was higher, and based on dating you can say when. But when sea level was lower than today, it's very difficult to find out, because all such evidences are buried into the sea. So what we do, this is a conceptual framework. If sea level is here, some of the species like corals, they live here. They try to make a migration and maintain the same depth. If the sea level is rising, they keep migrating. So now you know where is the depth, and you can date this carbonate. So you can say where was this. Just x, y you plot, you will get a sea level curve. So we have summarized first time in 1945, and we keep polishing this curve even now. The last publication you can see is the last year, which came in Elsevier publication. Now here is a sea level curve. Around 15,000, friends, see this one. Around 15,000 years back, sea level was about 100 meters lower than today. Think of it. 15,000 years, if you stand in Bombay, you have to mile for about 100 kilometers to meet the sea. That was the, just imagine, where was the sea? Afterwards, sea level started going up, quite stable for some time, then rose, and around 9.5 thousand years back, it was between 30 to 40 meter water depth. The same thing which I was talking to you, I will discuss it little later. Around 7,000 years, it has come to almost present sea level, then has gone even higher than today. So evidence which I showed you was this period, then again came back around 3.5 thousand years, again around 2,000 years, and we are not very sure what happened in last 1,000 years, because in marine sediment you don't get that much resolution. We are still trying to update this portion. The work is still going on for this period. Now let us see. Remember this sea level curve. With the help of this sea level curve, I will start explaining one uh, discovery after the other discovery, the revolution of marine archaeology. Again, same Lothal, which I left halfway when I was explaining. Now again we have to revisit it. See here. Lothal has been dated about 4.5 thousand years back. And 4,500 years back, sea level was higher than today. So when sea level was higher than today, it was connected to the sea. The ships used to go to the Lothal, and which have a very tremendous trade with the Gulf countries and many parts of the world. And when the sea level has gone down, this became out of use. And as per archaeologists, the age of Lothal is 4.5 thousand years. And friends, this is a matter of, because now the problem is settled. Yes, Lothal is a dockyard. And then it is the world's oldest dockyard ever discovered in the world. Yes, I didn't say, but I knew that because wherever I deliver this lecture on this, a clap comes. And you have to clap some more time, because we are a very proud country where we have a lot of things to show to the world, that many of the first in the world, because ours is the ancient civilization. It's not starting from 2000, it is not starting from 6th century. It started much before. So this work first time we published in 88, and now people are using different methods. Somebody is using remote sensing, somebody is using other chemical means, and now this is a dockyard, this is a sea, and Anirudh Khadkaikar in 2004 published a paper confirming, yes, how to reach Lothal. The approach, the missing link he has published, and again in 2022 Archana Das is following this one, sea level drop spurred Lothal decline. So it is confirming and reconfirming and reconfirming that Lothal was a dockyard. We told it in 88 first time. Yes, conclusively Lothal was a dockyard. After Lothal, this is another important part, which is our flagship program of the National Institute of Oceanography. And I must give a credit to late Dr. S.R. Rao, who started this project at NIO with the help from your organization, INSA, with just 20,000 rupees grant. See, that you need a passion. You don't need the resources. You don't need money. You don't need people. If you have a dying desire to do something, you will do it. Here is an example. How he came into this business of Dwarka. Dr. S.R. Rao was working when he was in an archaeological survey of India. This is the Dwarkadhish temple. How many of you had been to Dwarkadhish temple? Any one of you have seen this one? I knew nobody would have seen it. This is a problem. We Indians have a very poor sense of history. We don't tell to our youngsters or anybody, when you are going to Dwarka, you must see this also. See, this was a Panchayat Ghar. You can see here. And he got a permission to demolish this Panchayat Ghar, started excavation, and you can see the evidence of ancient temple. So it means this Dwarkadhish is not the temple of Dwarka time or Krishna's time. Before that there were temples, and then you go towards seaside, you will get more evidences. What it indicated to him, Dr. S.R. Rao, that time, probably what has been told in Mahabharata or Gita, that ancient Dwarka was there, which he built, which was engulfed by the sea. And as probably the sea level go on increasing, we keep on shifting the temples. All such temples are buried into the sand now, and what stands today is about just 1,000-year-old temple. So he thought that why not we should try to see the original Dwarka city. Let us go into the sea. But he had no resources in. He waited. And then he came to NIO and we all joined him. Okay, and after joining, what happened? here is a, recently you might have seen a lot of, hello Tiwari ji, namaskar, आधा lecture हो गया sir. Okay, no problem. Here is a Vinod Kashyap, who is a photographer, and here is a person, Kirit Pegod. He is the person who took our Prime Minister to the Dwarka site at about 8-meter water depth. I am planning to go with him in the November to the same spot once again. And here is a small, you can just see, enjoy the beauty of underwater structures. These are the structures of the stones. Any ancient structure, if you see, you will get only the foundation stone, whether it is a Mohenjo-daro or Harappa or anywhere else. Here is the stone wall structures of the ancient Dwarka built by Lord Sri Krishna. Now, this is few still photographs. You can see this is stones. Actually, you can see after cleaning, because a lot of grass and other things have been infected, so it's very difficult to find out. You can see here, and lot of stone anchors also we found in this area, and this indicates that Krishna's Dwarka was not an imagination; it was a reality. It was an ancient city which is there of Samudranarayan temple, almost near to the present Dwarka in offshore area. And NIO has done this pioneering work by S.R. Rao with the help of all of us. So Dwarka is not an invention, it is reality, it is a history. Then the question comes, it was covered in media and it's available. Actually, this is the old, I have put it. This is more than 9,000 views of this, and this is 2.8 million views of this BBC video on Dwarka, which we have shooted. There are three. See, in our country, one thing is good. Some people feel bad, but I feel very good. We are very critical of our own findings or anything where if we can take credit, no, a big group will come and tooth and nail they will fight. This is not true. This is not true. So I said, okay, very good. Tell me what it should be. So somebody says not sea level change, because we were telling sea level changes. No, not sea level changes. And then what? Because of erosion. I said, you are telling erosion because you don't know what is erosion. Because erosion is, if something is here, if I erode the sediment below it because of sea wave, this may fall. Okay, it may get destroyed, but it will not be submerged, because sea level will remain at the same level. So I answered to them. Another question was there. I think Saroj Balaji is here. No, Saroj Bala is. She has done a good work on Ram Setu and Sri Ram's history. She sent me a shloka from Mahabharata. It is because of tsunami got submerged. So when I met her, she's an elderly lady, with folded hand. I told her, Madam, you are telling tsunami because you don't know the tsunami. Tsunami is, it goes, it will temporarily submerge something. It will destroy. After a few hours, it will go back to its original level. So it cannot submerge. Okay, so it's only the sea level. It is possible to submerge any city. Some other people were there. I think Shah Sahab, you were asking about it. We don't believe. Some people use very harsh words. It is all fraud. I said, very good. Why you say it is all fraud, Dwarka? There is no sign of habitation. I said, you please tell me what is the sign of habitation. I am a geologist, so educate me. बोले उधर पॉटरी मिलनी चाहिए ना. तो मैं कहा पॉटरी Pottery is made up of what, sir? It's clay. Just don't change your argument afterwards. So yes, when I say just now I showed you, sea is such a powerful agent. It is eroding the rock and converting it into this small pieces. I said, for 3,500 years, your pottery will be in the sea in a high energy environment, and still you need a pottery there. I said, अगर pottery मिलती तो मैं कहता ये fraud है. Pottery नहीं मिल रही है, इसीलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ कि ये समझ द्वारका. Now at least we had a tough time to get our work accepted. So whether sea level was higher than lower than today, only then Dwarka can be submerged. See that same sea level curve. 3,500 year old, sea level was lower than today. So it is written that Krishna built the city of Dwarika on reclaimed land. When you can reclaim the land? When sea level is going up or sea level is going down? Yeah, when it is going down, it is leaving behind lot of marshy land, which you can fill it and you can build a city. Why he has to build a city on, say, because it was a port city. Port has to be on the joining point where land and sea is joining. Probably for a strategic purpose he built this city. So Dwarka is, here is a proof. Dwarka was an ancient city formed by the Krishna, which was engulfed by the city, by the sea, and here is the proof, scientific evidence that it was not an imagination, it was a reality. Another thing, I am not very sure because I thought I am at Intuck, somebody may throw more light on it. Recently there was a discovery by Mr. Manjul, okay, the Senori, and he has found this. I give a lot of importance to this weapons, bhala, sparrow, this one, and a chariot. No weapons are found in Lothal or Mohenjo-daro. Why here? And the age is 3,800 years before present, means slightly 300 years older than Mahabharata. I put it in this way. When Lothal was there or Mohenjo-daro and Harappa was there, these were the cultures of agriculture-based culture. Beginning of the, you can say, settlement. Life was hard, so there was no need to have any contest. But over the period, when the agriculture started, prosperity started, population grew, there has to be a city, you have to make a king, and when you have a king, you have a prosperity. Those who don't have, they would like to attack you. So when you are under attack, you will develop the weaponry. So 3,800 years back, they developed the weaponry, and after this 300 years, the disconnect, or you can say the greed for the money became so much in the society, we had a Mahabharata. So it can be linked into the broader story. But these are not my final words. This is a proposition I am giving. I think future people probably will look into it, whether it fits well into the story or not. I think this is the first time we are making this effort to rope in scenery into our history of Dwarka and Ramsetu. Another discovery, just 2 or 3 years back, Dholavira has been declared as a World Cultural Heritage. That is 40th. How many of you have seen Dholavira? What for this Dholavira is famous? Anyone? Anyone? Signboard, okay. Here is a signboard. What else? Drainage. Very good. Then three parts, correct. What is this? No, I think so far Dholavira was famous for the excellent water conservation system. You know that Dholavira is between two Mansar and Manar, two seasonal rivers. It means this area was a short of water supply. That's why they have developed that I will show you a little later. The excellent water conservation system. This is our team, and here is this lady, that Dr. Rupal Dubey. She done PhD with me. She got a Young Scientist Award. Now she is in Dubai. She is the one actually who is credited what I am going to tell you. She was my PhD scholar. First thing, Dholavira was a port town. This is my first statement. And Saran was a landing point. Very nearby. Those who have seen Lothal, they might have seen Saran also. And the age is between 5 to 6,000 years. Now 5 to 6,000 years, you can see sea level was higher than today. It means sea was much closer to the Dholavira. But more than that, this is what actually I was asking. Those who had been to Dholavira must have seen this. This is a very famous picture of a reservoir, water reservoir. But now I want to, this is what madam you were telling it, the three parts. This is the citadel, this is a bailey, middle town and lower town. Now citadel has been surrounded by a very thick wall. What do you mean by thick wall? How much thick you can think of? 18-meter thick wall. I think probably the size of this hall, maybe it's 18 meter. I remember I invited Dr. R.S. Bisht, who got the Padam Shri for this work, excavation, and I put this question. He said, we don't know very well, but maybe for the protection. At that time, we didn't get the idea, but later question came to my mind. Protection against whom? Hey, you are very smart. See, the very first thing, 6,000 years back, protection against animal, a bamboo fencing would have been sufficient. Protection against animal, protection against enemies. What was the ammunition of your enemies 6,000 years back? Stones, arrows, bows, that's all. For that you need 18-meter wall. Even China wall, here is a China wall. Even China wall is not that thick. Any of the fort, when the gunpowder was discovered, means जब तोप आ गई उसके बाद भी इतनी चौड़ी वाल नहीं बनी. ये देखिए, I have just summarized. We published this paper also. Whatever I am presenting is all published. So then we propose the same thing what madam told. This must have been built to protect themselves from the tsunami. Some people say, why not flood? I said, this was already a water-starved area. It's not a water surplus area where floods were frequent. And for making the flood protection, you go to Mohenjo-daro and see. Or you read the book of Melua by Amish. Nowhere mention any 18-meter thick wall. Why at Dholavira? Because it is a strategic location, and me and my student Dr. Subodh Chaturvedi, we published a paper much before this discovery, which says that 8,000 years back there is a clear-cut evidence of tsunami in this area. It means people, those who are living in that area, they were aware of tsunami. But because of a strategic location, they have to live there as a city. So they built the most VIP area, the citadel area, with the 18-meter thick wall. We published. If the Japanese make a 11-meter thick wall few years back. So what Japanese are making now, Indians have made 6,000 years back. And friends, this is another matter of pride. The words oldest evidence of tsunami protection area is within our boundary. Give a clap to Dholavarians who did it. Think of our ancestors. 6,000 years back, they knew how to protect themselves from the tsunami. But you see, so we proposed this, and some time back, very good friend of Banerjee Sahab, Professor Baldia, he also gave an opinion. Dholavira must have been destroyed by earthquake. The problem is, no, if you ask solution from me, my mind will work for ocean. Like that, no, if you go to the police thana, he will think thana, someone, kacheri and all those things. So if you ask a earthquake expert, he will tell about earthquake only. So he said, the earthquake always hit from the bottom. If you hit the bottom, it may destroy. But if this is your thing, and if you hit something horizontally, what will happen? It may tilt. Now you see here, the wall, this tilted wall, this was a straight wall. When tsunami hit from here, it got it tilted. So this is another evidence that yes, this wall was built to protect themselves from the tsunami. Then we thought of it, whether tsunami has really hit that area or it is my imagination only. We may be wrong also. So we did some survey, and because short of time, I will not tell you the full story, but lot of restrictions were put on us by the people that we cannot do survey in that area. Actually, this Middletown area. Somebody says you have to take permission from Bishop, who was originally. So I telephoned him. He said, I retired long back, why my permission is required? So then who? To go to ASI. I telephoned to ASI people and that site. They say, you can take the sample, we are putting the pillars from there. I said, not from everywhere, we need from a particular place. No, we cannot allow you to have a trench in an active area. I said, but this is a science what we want to do. He said, Rishabh, that is not possible. I said, that's very good. Then I asked him, if I come without permission, what you will do? He said, we will call the police. I said, that's very good. Now I am sending you my program. I am coming with the journalist. You stop it, get me arrested. I will give a statement. For 20 years, you have not done anything in this field and you are not allowing us to do anything. Then he got scared. नहीं सर वो मुझे कुछ मत बोलिए, वो दिल्ली से परमिशन चाहिए. अरे किसको लिखूं? बोले राकेश तिवारी जी थे उसमें. बोले राकेश तिवारी. I said, then permission is already granted. I knew he was from Lucknow. I got a phone call from Indraveer Singh and I got a permission. But see, what we did in Middletown, we did the GPR survey. GPR, ground penetrating radar. It tells you what lies below the surface. So if any structure is buried, you can get a. Actually, this is the instrument which very limited use has been made in archaeology. There is a lot of scope is there. Each and every site of archaeology should be first surveyed by the GPR survey. Yes, actually, basically this instrument is used by civil engineers for the pipelines, sewer lines, this all sort of those things. We used here for the archaeology. Now see the result. 2.5 meter thick layer. Okay, after the few centimeters of surface, this layer have no this much thick sediment deposited without any layer. If you go to riverbed side, put a trench, you will get a sediment like this. Okay, layered sediment. You go to sandbar area, sand dune area, there also you will get a layer. You will take a marine sediment, you will get the layer. But here I have 2.5 meter sediment which have no layer. How it is possible? In what circumstance? In popular language, you take a truckload of sand and dump it anywhere. It will not have any layer. It means it is one-time deposit. From where the one-time deposit can come? Only two ways are there. Either river brought it as a flood or sea brought it as a tsunami. So how to decide whether it is a river-borne sediment or sea-borne sediment? Damn easy for us. Okay, it looks difficult to you, but it's damn easy for us. This is the trench for which I struggled for months to get a permission. So we got a permission. Here is Dr. Lawson, who is our GPR expert. And here is my very favorite student, Dr. Rupal Dubey from BHU. She came and did PhD with me and got a Young Scientist Award. So we collected the sample. And in this sample, we got a beautiful, well-preserved foraminifera, microfossils. Each one is less than a millimeter in size. The beauty is they are exclusively marine animals. You don't get it into Yamuna or Ganga. It means sediment has not been brought from the river side, it is from the sea side. It means tsunami was one of the factors which has destroyed the Dhalavira. But a lot of questions remain to be answered. This is, yeah, that's what. You are archaeologist? Okay. Yeah, but all your questions are wonderful questions. This was a middle town because we got a permission. I said, "Chalo, शुरुआत तो होने दो." So we did, and after that I got retired. And there is no one who can, like SRO, can reappoint me. So we wanted, actually the next step should be whether tsunami has crossed this 18-meter wall or not. So for that you should do the same survey within the citadel. There is a lot of sociological implication of this studies. Even if it has not crossed the thick wall, and even if VIP people of citadel area were not affected, still the city became an abundant city. Why? Unless there are poor people around you, no VIP can survive. Okay, and this is a lesson for today's VIPs. This is another thing, sir. Shah Sahab, you were asking about this work. Near Surat, there was a survey going on by National Institute of Ocean Technology, Chennai. And this was a chance discovery. They got evidence of an ancient city, which is 7,500-year-old BC, matlab roughly 9.5 thousand years before present, old city. India today brought out a special issue, the world's oldest city, because then Minister Murli Manohar Joshi ji and Secretary to Ministry of Earth Sciences, Dr. Harsh Gupta, they addressed a press conference. After some time, the Outlook Express brought out another issue and said it is all hoax. And they all were very in trouble because ministers think somebody is. In India, one thing is very good, nobody is spared with the criticism. Doesn't matter if somebody is a minister. Luckily, Dr. Harsh Gupta came and he was the chairman of our Research Advisory Council, and he has seen the sea level which I was presenting, which I presented to you. He said, Rajiv, what about this Surat discovery? I said, why you need me to describe? You yourself can see. And he said, you publish it. I said, sir, your discovery is in 2000 and my curve has been published first time in 1995. So nobody can say that we are generating a curve to suit the minister. Lot of people in science also do that. To make minister happy, they can cook the data and they can do any damn thing. Okay, but here you see that this is 2002 published. Okay, and this curve I wrote you in Geological Society of India. It was first time published in 1995. Now you see here. See what happened when journalists put lot of questions, they were answering. As I told you, everybody answered as per their own understanding. He was an earthquake expert. So he says maybe perhaps because of earthquake. Somebody was asking how a city can be at 30 to 40 meter water depth. So the journalist was very funny. He says, सर आपको लगता है इतना छोटा सा टुकड़ा 30-40 मीटर नीचे चला गया होगा? So when he saw this curve, I said, look, why no one should get surprised. Sea level was between 30 to 40 meter water depth around 9.5 thousand years back. So nobody should get surprised with the presence of this city. And if this is true, more studies are required. हमारे हर चीज़ आधे में छोड़ देते हैं, मुश्किल ये है. आदमी रिटायर हुआ उसके साथ उसका सब्जेक्ट भी रिटायर हो जाता है. So here also actually lot of work is, and you can see the sea level was rising very slow. It means whatever river are joining here today, they all were joining here, and a city was here. Since no scientist can name the city, for that you should have some literary, some folk stories to tell. Since there is no folk story, we don't know the name, but I am damn sure, yes, there is a city. Probably I am reaching to the end of my talk, only few talks are remaining. So far, whatever I have showed, I think some question will come afterwards. Everything was happening in Gujarat. Whether it was a Samaj Dwarka, whether it was a Dholavira, it was a Lothal, everything was happening in Gujarat. First time something I am telling which is happening in Chennai. Mahabalipuram, how many of you have seen? When it was built? Anybody? How old the temple is, this temple? Okay, around 2000 years. 1000. Somebody says you are the only one who is telling it, and I agree with you. People say it is 1000 years. Chola time. What is Chola's time? This is built by Chola. The present use my no, that is different. I am telling about this area. Yeah, there is a purpose behind it. Okay, I agree. Somebody says I am using the word the present temple at this location is about Chola time. There are historical records. Cholas have built this temple. And sir, it is built up of charnokite. It's highly pitted. As a geologist, you can answer this question better than me. It so happened in 2004 or 5, the tsunami came. North of this temple, you can see this was all covered with the sand. So the entire sand was eroded, and this much structure was there, and something written on it. So the archaeological survey of Chennai is thought of digging it. So when you can see the road here. They started digging, and they found that, see, this is exactly the wall like Dholavira. Double wall made up of laterite. And this is a temple. So next time, this is about 1.5 kilometers from the main Mahabalipuram temple, north of it. Next time, if any one of you going to Chennai, you must see the Salvakuppam. अभी अपना ये गया था मुकुंद शर्मा. He telephoned from there. वो you have shown it in your lecture. Where is this? I have to send the location and all those things. Now this has opened up a new chapter. With something bigger was there in this area, and present temple is a tip of the iceberg. So what we did, we thought north of temple, when something is buried into the sediment, let us do something south of the temple. So we did the GPR survey in south of the temple, and we got very good buried structures. This is a future study. Somebody should repeat what we have done, and if confirmed, they should start digging that area. You may find another Salvakuppam or another temple south of it, which is right now it is buried below the sediment, and above that all that the shell market is going on. See, why I am telling is the south, why we did the survey. We thought if something is north of it, and right now I will show you south towards the seaside also something we have. I said, probably this is a big temple complex. So let us check something south. We check south, it is there. Our work stopped there. We have an indication that there is a buried structure. We have very good signature. Somebody has to dig and confirm it. But more than that is this offshore area. The Mahabalipuram temple is here on the shore. Just offshore area, we did the survey. And this is underwater exploration. Can you see the difference between these pictures and these pictures? You don't have to be a great scientist to do that. Simple common sense will do. It means whatever at Dwarka we are getting, something like that we are getting in offshore area. And if we did more survey, probably it will be equivalent to Dwarka. What you were telling is, it means this must be a very big temple town. Offshore area is already submerged. North and south area already buried into the sediment. The center portion, which was far away from the sea originally, now at the seashore, and that was also destroyed probably, and the temple built over the basement. And sir, no laterite in this nearby area. Laterite is a very resistant rock for offshore area. It means those who built this area originally, they were very rich people. They built the temple with laterite, but the present temple is made up of charnokite, which is a local art. So a lot of things are required. And probably now I am just coming to the end of it. Probably I have already overshooted my time. This is a big controversy. You all know about Ram Setu. This is Ram Setu temple. How many of you have been to Dhanushkoti? Many people. Yes. So you must have seen that, no, the spit which is going towards Sri Lanka side. If you see the remote sensing, you can see a very famous picture came in almost all the magazines. Controversy started because even we faced this difficulty for last 45 years. Whenever we have a headquarter at Goa and we have a regional center at Cochin and Vishakhapatnam. So whenever I have to go to the east coast, I have to take a full circle of Sri Lanka, because the depth between India and Sri Lanka is very less. So then government thought that if we can dredge that area, ship can pass through it. Of course, there was a lot of ecological problem which business people didn't thought about it. So ecological people have not waked up, but religious people were up in arms. They say this is our religious feeling is there and it should not be touched. Making you can say, no, the thing more difficult, Indian government gave a affidavit in the court that Ram was an imaginary thing. Okay, and since the maker was not original, so Ram Setu was also an imaginary thing, and let us do it. So finally we were asked, and very much in the same city,
Hello.
What we did here, see, when the journalists were asking, what is your opinion, I was asking a counter question. You tell me how old was Ram. I will tell you whether Ram Setu was possible or not. Nobody was giving us a clear-cut question. So Saroj Bala's group, they came. How many of you seen the movie that Ram Setu? In that the word comes Pushkar Bhatnagar. It is actually Pushkar, 7,000 years. So he gave a time. This is about 5,100 years BC. You put it into BP and see the sea here. Around 7,000 years, sea level was about 2 to 3 meters lower than today. It means right now Sri Lanka and India, the water depth is 9 feet, 3 meters. So if you lower it by 2 to 3 meters, it means India and Sri Lanka almost get connected. In between some ditches, some shallow water patches were there, which can be covered. And this word Adam's bridge or Ram Setu created a lot of situation, confusion. People thought bridge means like flyover, as Rama has built a flyover. No, in Sanskrit what we called it? Setu Bandh Rameshwaram. It's a bandh, it's the causeway. Dekha hoga na, in the villages when water is less, you put some stones and you cross over. Same way Rama has done it. So I am not going into the literary references. As a scientist, I want to remain in the science. 7,500 years back, the so-called period of Ram, it was not impossible to connect India and Sri Lanka by little efforts, and Ram Setu was the original phenomenon. This came on the ZTV also, it came on Ashtak also, it's well covered in media. Last 2-3 slides only, Madam Bas. This question repeatedly asked when everybody is looking for the future. Why you people want to look into the back, whether Ram take nahi the, Krishna, forget about it, think about future. No. This is a part of archaeology, they are part of our history, and these are not of only pure academic interest, there is a hard economics behind it. Archaeology is a hard economics. See here, when foreign to, see, there are many countries in the world which are surviving on the tourist money. India also needs the tourist money. But the tourists which come to India mostly visit only these 5 sites. You see here the revenue are all in and around Delhi. We don't tell them anything else. They think India means Taj Mahal only. So there is a time we should tell the world. It's not that we have only 300, 400 year old monuments like Lal Killa and Qutub Minar and Fatehpur Sikri. We have the world's oldest dockyard, which is 4,500 year old. We have the Dholavira, which is about 6,000 year old and world's the oldest evidence of tsunami protest. If the first thing we should know, we will tell others only when I know it. That's what we are doing it at NIO. We are going around the country. We are telling the people, look, we have much older, much fascinating things. Tell the entire world. Things are changing. It's not that Nirmala Sitharaman, when she gave a budget lecture, she told about 3 regions will be given preference for funding: Rakhi Gali, Dholavira and Lothal. Out of this, Dholavira and Lothal are the domain of marine archaeology. At Lothal, a National Maritime Museum is coming up. Tomorrow, Dr. Shinde will tell you more about it. And things you can see in 2030, the international tourist arrival, we were at 41st. Our efforts are giving the fruits. Now we are at 25th. Okay. All said and done. Everything, but you all also know, not only archaeologists, as a geologist, as a common citizen, that global warming is becoming a reality. No more an imaginary thing. Out of several consequences of global warming, sea level is also likely to go up, and this time it is not a natural phenomenon. It is done by us, the man. There is a need to protect ourselves, not to add towards greenhouse gases and sea level changes. And if we don't do it, many of the today's Indian flourishing city who are at coastal region, maybe after a few hundred years, they became a property of the future archaeology, marine archaeologists. Let us not do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nigam. We have already overshot time, so I don't know if we can take question answers. Can we just wrap it up here? Okay, 2-3 questions, sir said. All right.
Yes, madam.
Yes.
Sure.
Sir, I enjoyed it very much. I'm not an archaeologist, but I work at the National Museum as a guide. So I have 2-3 questions. One is, all Indus Valley cities had a surrounding wall. So, but that wall was not strong enough to protect Dholavira. That's I have one question. My second question is, so if there are so many submerged temples around Mahabalipuram, then Kumari Kandam must be there somewhere.
Yes.
So, and when is that going to be, discovered? Because that is forms such an important part, particularly of the Sangam first, #1 Sangam literature, also. And also Citadel was at a higher level,
Yeah.
was at a raised level. So maybe that's why, it kind of, well, it would have
Okay, so
protected the wall.
one by one, I'll start giving. Most of the ancient city which were along the river, see, civilizations grew either close to the river, means always they need water, close to the river or close to the sea. Those who were close to the river, they were built the wall to protect themselves from the flood. Okay, now that time there was no discovery which was near to the sea. Lothal was the first discovery which was near to the sea, you see, and Dholavira even now in Indian subcontinent is the only discovery which you can say is so well done is with reference to the sea level changes and the tsunami. About you are telling about what is the name? The Tamil name with difficult. Yeah. See, the land archaeology is quite different and goes with a different time span. I'm sorry, I'm not the very right person to answer something which is happening on the land. Tomorrow you can ask this question with Shinde Saab, who has done exclusively on the. We are complementary to each other. Okay. And what was the third question? No, Kumri Kunda. I'm sorry, I am not the very right person to answer this.
In the early 1980s, there was some TIFR radiocarbon dating done for some carbon fossils from Dwarka, which I have read that it was dated somewhere around 5,400 years as Dwarka's timeline. What is your opinion on that?
See, never believe one source. C14, and not only archaeologists or common man, even we geologists, we think like a gospel truth. If something has been done by C14, that's the end of the world. No, C14 is equally subjected to lot of if and buts. This so happened when I got one sample dated from Goa, and it gave me age 300 year. Then I went to Dr. Rajgopal at BSIP Lucknow. Sir, 300 is a Portuguese era. There is a written record is there. Such a big phenomena happened 300 years ago. It should have been recorded. It is human history. Then he asked me more question about the site from where we collected the sample. He said whenever freshwater leaching is there, you will get ridiculously low ages. Simply, if a old carbon is added, sometime if sample is not collected or processed properly, ridiculously low old ages you will get. Now this 300, 500 year, see if 500 year if I take, I can go back, you remember the sea level. Where was the sea level 500 years? Lower or higher? Higher. Even higher than today. It means Dwarka, you have to go on 10-meter water depth and build a city. Is it possible? No. So this is a wrong age. I'll tell you, not only you, recently there was a meeting, I think Shinde Saab may tell tomorrow meeting here. Sarvanand Sonwal meeting was there and मैं से हमारी सभ्यता 5000 साल पुरानी है मोदी जी ने कहा. So then I read, I said, sir, from where you got this sacrosanct figure of 5,000 years? He said, I don't have any reference, but normally people say 5,000 year old. I said, here is a published record in Elsevier Journal that we have a written. Now I showed you here. It's a 9.5 thousand year old. Our civilization is to minimum. Urban civilization is 9.5 thousand years. And sea level doesn't support TFR date. But sea level support BSIP or PRL date. Dr. Rao got it done repeated samples at repeated place. So this originally 3,500 year age was given by Dr. S.R. Rao. Very wrong. Two things I want to tell you. First thing, never believe a single source result. A converging evidence only give a final story. lot of fake videos are going around on Dwarka in social media. पूरा टेम्पल है, खंबे हैं, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. These all are fake videos. Only I remember some time back, the Secretary of Surface Transport, who is building now the museum, they telephoned. हम द्वारका में एक ट्यूब डालना चाहते हैं, so that the tourists can go and see themselves. तो मैंने सर बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं आप, करिए, हमें भी 2-3 करोड़ रुपए मिल जाएंगे सर्वे करने के लिए, लेकिन अगर आप मेरी एडवाइस मानते हैं तो मत करिए. फर्स्ट थिंग, द्वारका में आपको अगर ऐसा लगता है कि टूरिस्ट नीचे जाएगा और उसको मंदिर दिखाई देगा, ऐसा वहाँ कुछ है नहीं. क्योंकि वहाँ पे सिर्फ जैसा किसी भी खंडहर में होता है, किसी भी आर्कियोलॉजिकल स्ट्रक्चर में होता है, कि सिर्फ वो नींव के पत्थर हैं, ओनली फाउंडेशन स्टोन इज देयर. एंड द्वारका अनदर बिग प्रॉब्लम, दैट्स व्हाई इट टुक 20 years to do the survey. We get hardly 3 months time when visibility is good. Remaining 9 months you go down in the water and you can't see anything. आपका टूरिस्ट जाएगा और क्या देखेगा, फिर आप मुझे बोलेंगे मैंने तो 20-25 करोड़ लगा दिए और वहाँ कुछ है नहीं. तो फाइनली बेटर सेंस प्रिवेल्ड, दे हैव अबंडन्ड दैट सिटी.
One last question.
Yeah.
Last question. Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Nigam, can you just give a clue about the technology of temple? What type of technology was the construction of temple that time?
Temple technology, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert on that. Mostly there are stone temples. Stone temples, or they use the rocks like laterite, like Mahabalipuram. I was surprised when our diver has gone and brought out the stone which was there down. Then I saw, being a geologist, I know it is a laterite. Then I kept asking, even I asked in your geo forum, how far is the source of laterite from Mahabalipuram? There is no nearby source. It means, see, the ancient Indian wisdom, that I am really amazed with that. They knew the laterite is a better stone for this. Goa, if you come and see, all coastal structures were made by laterite stone. Okay, this very, and more the water goes, more it gets stable. It doesn't get eroded fast. So Mahabalipuram, it was a, but most of the old temples, this is just remind me one more sample. Madam, I will just take 1 more minute to answer. I wanted to do some survey when I became head of department of archaeology. Basically a geologist. I was heading a geology division. I wanted to do at Somnath. So my idea was that if we have a Dwarka at 6 to 8 meters, see, think of today. When you have a Bombay, you should have a Marmagua, you should have a contemporary port. Where are the contemporary port of Lothal? कोई आपने आज तक दूसरा पोर्ट सुना 4,500 साल पुराना? नहीं सुना. मैं ढूंढना चाहता हूँ. मैंने कहा मैं सोमनाथ के पास देखता हूँ कोई टाइम. आवर ग्रेट आर्कियोलॉजी फ्रेंड्स एडवाइस में कोई फायदा नहीं है. I said, why? There will not be any evidence of temple. I said, why? Temple art is only 1,000 years old. Before that there were no temples. Now a poor geologist, I have to believe them. So I kept quiet. After 1 week, when we have the next meeting, then I asked, ये कैलाश टेम्पल जो है एलोरा का, ये क्या है? टेम्पल है कि नहीं है? बोले हाँ है. कितना पुराना है? बोले 2000 साल पुराना है. मैं आप पिछली मीटिंग में तो बोल रहे थे 1000 से पुराना कोई मंदिर नहीं. तो आप आर्कियोलॉजी की बुक में देख लीजिए. दे टुक सम नेम ऑफ फेमस आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट in India. In a history book, this is taught that temple art is only 1,000 years old. You go to Ahole, there is an entire temple making workshop is there near Badami. Dr. Rao took us. We have seen Ahole. So please don't be, see, as a scientist we were taught one thing. Whatever has been said, whatever has been done, whatever has been published, don't believe blindly. Take a clue, but use your own brain. I am using the same thing in archaeology now. So I am not believing what R.C. Majumdar has written or what Ishwari Prasad has written. I am applying the plain logic. If Kailasha is a temple, then this statement is wrong. The temple art is 1,000 years old.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. May I request Member Secretary Dr. Ravindra Singh ji to come and present a token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much. I can go down.
These are our intact publications, primary body of works. Thank you. Thank you, sir, and for that absolutely awe-invoking presentation. And we hope that the information goes, to use the modern parlance, viral, because awareness is forefront of all conservation and preservation work in heritage. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. We have a cup of tea for you outside. And do come back for tomorrow's lecture.